Hey, welcome to today's video. So, let me just pull this baby in a little bit closer. I'm always doing this. I'm never perfectly correct. I always have to make that little bit of adjustment at the last second. Okay, so today's video, I wanted to make a video of really important websites. So websites that I feel are important within the whole world of Elite. I actually was in the live stream yesterday. I was bouncing around between a few of them, and then I got really annoyed at myself because there were so many websites where I hadn't bookmarked them properly, or I didn't put them in the correct place, or I couldn't find what it was I was looking for. And this is a big problem with me as a person. I skim so much information on the internet when I'm thinking about a subject, or I get onto a subject, that I will be just bookmarking pages left, right and center to come back to later, because if I don't close them then I might be on them for days. So I tend to go through this thing where I like bookmark, and then I'll come back to it later, and inevitably generally you don't, but then I don't know, 6-7 months down the line you're like, that website had this information that I need. And then if you ever saw my bookmark page, it'd probably give you a headache, because I actually have a huge section part where you'd think you'd find the correct things, but then if you go into the general bookmarks, there's another 3,000, 4,000 pages bookmarked which haven't been sorted out. One of the reasons why I never get around to sorting it out. But I really want to make a video about this, because I think that when we buy a new game, specifically something like Elite or something else like that, I'm going to make a video similar to this for some other games. The plethora of information on the internet means that we don't, without sitting down and putting in perfect keywords or putting in search words that you might not even know about yet, you're not going to find websites that count. So today I've got 25 websites that I think can help you. Now, enjoy Elite more. Now, I'm going to be honest and say that the majority of them are kind of based towards exploration and things like that, but there are also other things, and there's definitely some pages in there that can really help you regardless of what you want to do. So, without further ado, I'm going to just make sure that my page is set up so it looks at least half organized and half correct. Don't need that one. No, see, didn't have it even set up to the correct thing. So we'll switch over, and here magically you should be able to see my browser, and if I go to it myself I can have a really good look at it. So this is INARA. INARA.cz. Now, you do actually need this. You do need an API to hook this website up, but it's not that hard. I will actually put it in the description. Unfortunately, I didn't pick this one website. Actually, you know what, I'll do it while I'm on the fly. So, what does this website do? Well, this website uses a connective API to take information for the game and put it into kind of a visible form on the website. So what happens is you, if I just go here and click on this, and put this website in. Okay, there we go. So if you go to this website, all these I'm going to list, by the way. All these I'm going to list below, and I will list them in order that I showed them in the video, so it's so much easier to find. You go to install and setup, you install this little plugin, and it brings in an extra plugin that I can actually probably just drop into the feed here if I do a quick add window capture. Yeah, okay. So here you can see this little box here. I'm going to move it so it's quite visible. This shows, this loads up. It sits on top of your game if you have your game in borderless. If not, it sits outside, but it actually automatically updates itself. It has your commander name, it has your ship name, it has the system that you're currently in, and the station that you're currently in, and you see there's a little update button there. So you update it when you land in stations, but it actually does it automatically. It's a great little tool. Okay, so I'm gonna remove that now, and so that connects to the market, and it updates the market with all the information from there, which helps other players finding what they need. But what it also does, it updates this website, INARA. And INARA keeps a log of everything that you're doing. So you can see there's an overview here. It has my name, Commander Swifty. It says what type of role I am. You actually set that in your settings to what type of role you like to play. It tells you the name of my ship, its ID, what type of ship it is, the name of the ship. So you can see I'm currently sat in Coconut Airways, which I'm actually not, because I'm sat in Memphis Belle. So I don't understand that. I don't understand why that hasn't updated. I'm sure I did. Let's just do a quick update on this. Why isn't that updating? That's really strange. It normally does. Maybe if I go to another thing, come back to it. No, it's still saying Anaconda. I have no idea why it's saying that. It doesn't normally do that. But anyway. So it says your allegiance, your power, and all these things. That's bothering me why it says Memphis Belle. But I know that by looking at the credit balance here, I know that that is my actual credit balance. Overall assets including ships. There you go. So it lists all of this. It lists it on this side with the credits and assets, ranks and reputation, tells you exactly where you are. Even gives you some other rank progress bits down here, so you know exactly where you are. There is one where is it that one? No. There is one where it shows you exact. Here you go. So it shows you some exact ranks for different people, who you have access to, who you don't have access to. That's really, really cool. You can actually keep personal logs, which I really like. I never use it, but I've actually been along and read other people's, and I really like the idea of that. Fleet and modules. This is really good. I love it. So you can see your entire fleet here. And it is my entire fleet, and it is up to date, so I don't know why my ship isn't up to date on that first page. So it tells you your values here, and then it has your names. So we've got the Memphis Belle, my discovery ship, Coconut Airways, my passenger ship, Big Bertha, Transporter, Irene, my attack ship, and then Postman Pat, this will be called, I think, the Imperial Courier, because I'm going to try and fit that out for data missions. And then I've got a clipper and a couple of other bits, which I'm eventually at some point going to get round to working on. Stored modules doesn't seem to be working at the moment, although you can add them manually, so you'll know where they are, how much value they are, what grade they are, which I think is really good. But I think all that can be beaten if you have a home base. If you pick somewhere as your home base, my home base is LHS 142 VODOC. Okay, that's my home base, and what I do is I generally, if I change modules somewhere else, the day I get home, I will go into the shipping and outfitting, and I'll have everything sent to LHS 142. So I don't have to be flying left, right and centre to pick stuff up. It's there in my home base. It tells you your cargo, which is really cool, so you can, without going through any without going through all the tabs in your ship, you can find your cargo. There's a logbook there, which I don't use, a gallery, which I don't use either, but that's really, I think that's a good idea as well if you want to share it with people. And then a notes section. Now there's loads of other stuff on this page, which I don't even have time to get into at the moment, but there is a ton of other stuff on here, a ton of other information. And I just love it. I think it's a great, even if you go here to the market, it's telling you everything about the market in LHS 142, which is my home, so I should take notice of this. Where to import to, some round trips that you can do for profit making. You know, it's just such a good, it's a good little website. So I highly recommend that. Again, it'll be in the show notes. Next website. The Elite Galactic Wiki. Now this is, the next few websites I'm going to go into are going to all be about exploration, because I don't do exploration that much at the moment because I'm trying to make money, but as there's been kind of a nerf hammer brought down, there's a part of me that's saying, look, I've really got to get out there in the black and make some money that way, because you don't make money as fast, but it's definitely more, you feel a bit more achievement, even if you're only making a small amount of money. You're like, I made that money, you know, I went out and I scanned these places and I made this money. So this website, wiki.ed-board.net, is amazing. It's actually in loads of different languages as well, which I think's so good for various people around the world who want to play. So you can see it starts off at the top by giving the stellar for classifications. So I don't actually know if you can search specifically for anything like that. Oh, we'll wait for that to load. So what you can do is you can say, okay, today I want to go visit Nebula. So this is one of the things that I actually had trouble finding when I originally played the game. Oh, please don't say please don't say my 1 second. I just have this really bad feeling that oh no, so it eventually did it, but it didn't do it fast enough. There we go. So yeah, that's something on my internet. I don't know if I've got something turned on that I don't really want turned on and it's using too much bandwidth or something, so I'm just going to quit a few things. So yeah, you can go into stellar classification. You can see all these names of places that are in that classification. So that's really good if you're wanting to find some Earth type worlds and things like that. It's going to give you all the information, and you should be able to find stuff easier. This is the part I was on about. Oh, did I click on the wrong one there? I didn't think I had. But for example, oh no. So if you want to go to a nebula, so let's have a look for the kind of famous ones. I should have really practiced this before I looked at it. Okay, so let's have a look at the Monkey Head Nebula, for example. Come on, please work. And this might be because I have so many windows open, but or it might just be this website. If it is, I'll come back to it, but it's not loading up very fast. So when you load it up, it'll bring up loads of information about that place. It doesn't give you a route, unfortunately, but it does give you information about that place, which is quite important. It does help you. There you go. So it's eventually loading up, but it's so good. It has this 3D map here. It tells you the distance from Sol. You normally have to search by this name here, so like Monkey Head Nebula. The other ones don't really work. They're official names, if you will. It gives you a wiki all about it here, and then it actually here in this one at the bottom where my mouse is spinning around, this actually lets you look at it on a real time, well, not a real time, shall we say a real photograph. It lets you zoom in and out, so that's really, really cool. I love that. And then it actually helps you when you're in game. It generally in game it has a little bit, it's a little bit different, but it looks pretty much like that, so it helps you spot it in the sky as well, especially if it's something small. So that's a really, really good website. Again, I love that one because of that, because of those things. You know, you want to visit a black hole, bam, it's there. And because they all have the distance from Sol, it lets you plan. If you want to do a short one, do a short one. If you want to do a long one, do a long one. And then there's a 3D map with various points of interest. It shows all the most popular things that people visit, which is really, really good because it tells you pretty much the most interesting ones, because those are the ones that everybody visits. So that's the Elite Galactic Wiki. Third page I want to show you is this one. Now, the guy doesn't upload it a lot, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's just he isn't getting enough visitors and he doesn't think it's viable. But I noticed that in January he started posting again, and I think he hadn't posted since October or something. So without doing too many spoilers, I'm gonna kind of jump to I'm gonna jump here. He's basically building, without going into it, it's elite-dangerous-travel.tumblr.com. Okay, again in the show notes. You can see it has information about it. Here he posts photographs, but I don't click on them because I'm just looking for places to travel to in the future. And I am going to actually, if I get time today, I'm going to send him a message to try and push him on to do it, because there's people out there as well who don't like doing exploration and they just want to see the places. So I think he can actually drive through my website, maybe through somebody like Obsidian, and he can drive people towards this website if he keeps working hard at it. I actually think it's a really good idea. Unfortunately, with the internet, sometimes good ideas don't pay off simply because you don't get the traffic. If you can't bring the traffic in your direction, then you're not going to benefit from it. So I really hope that he keeps that up, because I think it's really helpful. He does put quite a lot of information in the post and lets you find where certain things are. So that's the Elite Dangerous Travel Guide. That's a really good one. Okay, this third one, no, the next one, sorry, fourth I think it is even better than his, but it's set out a bit more simply, if you will. So this is a Reddit post of the best exploration destinations and where should you go. So there's just a massive list here, and I love it. There's like Barnard's Loop and surrounding Nebula. Now, Barnard's Loop is a really tricky place to go to. A lot of people have got stuck out there. It's really kind of getting there. For me, generally is quite easy. So, but sometimes when I'm coming back, if you're using the auto feature, it's really hard to find a way around, and it can take a long time to find your way out. I've not found, it's not to say I've looked, because I actually haven't, but I've not found anywhere that actually kind of lists which stars you should go to in order to get there in and out safely. I know that Obsidian Ant did a video about it. I think he went to the Horsehead Nebula, so maybe in that video he explains a bit more, but it's really interesting. I really like it. I've been out there to, what have I seen? I've seen the Running Man Nebula, seen the Witch's Head Nebula. The others I actually missed out on, and I will go back out there someday and have a look at them. And then of course down here there's even more in the list, just so many places for you to go visit, and these are really important. And I'm sure in the comments there's people that have listed places as well. So that's a Reddit post. If you put the best exploration destinations, where should you go, into Google, followed by Reddit, it'll bring you to that page, but again I'll link it at the bottom. Okay, next one. This is actually on the Frontier forums, and I've tried not to use the Frontier forums much because that's a regular point of call for anybody really who plays the game, even if you're playing on PlayStation 4 and you're not tied in with what should we say, like a Discord or anything. You're probably going to find your way to the Frontier forums at some point. I've picked this one because I missed out on a lot of expeditions. I know most people did. I'm sure there'll be some coming in the future, and if they are brilliant, because I'd love to take part in one at some point. But this is a visual history of the expeditions in Elite, and it's done so well you can literally plot your own course, because there's a complete and utter roadmap. It tells you what people were doing, it tells you what it was about. I think it's one of the most interesting things ever. You can print it as a poster, which I'm actually seriously considering doing. I just love it. I think the setup's amazing. This is only one half of it. It actually goes over the other side of the screen as well, over here. And I just love it. I love all the information. It has every one of them listed. It tells you a little bit about what they were doing. It gives credits and things like that to people who were involved. So I think that's a great thing if you ever want to go on your own expedition. And again, I think doing that at some point in your Elite career is actually, although you're in the black and it's a little bit lonely, I think it's a good thing to do. I mean, you can always do it with a wing. But there you go. That's so that's a Reddit post as well. Oh no, it's a Frontier post, sorry. Expeditions in Elite Dangerous, a visual history. Okay, next page. Okay, this is I actually should have put this somewhere else. Actually, I'm gonna put it somewhere else. I'm gonna put it over here. at the end, and I'll come to that one at the end. Okay, here we go. This is a good one that I found the other day, because it's going to save you a lot of time. It hasn't been updated for a while, but I haven't looked for any other posts, so I really probably should. If I do, I'll make a video about them. This is about the Rediscovered generation ships. I've actually tried a couple of these out and I love them. So it tells you a little bit about the lore if you want and whatnot, and then it actually tells you about the found ships. And what it does is, here it'll tell you, for example, the name of the ship, the Lycian. Okay, great. Then here it tells you what system it's in, how many light years. I'm guessing that's from Sol. Yeah. And then it says how to find. Fly to Alanus 10 and then redirect to Horae. So you fly to Alanus 10, then you look in your system map, you select Horae, you don't frame shift to it, you fly about 20,000 light seconds. Then it's quite easy. It sounds a bit complicated, but it really isn't. You set a course for Col 285, sector blah 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 blah, and you fly for another 30,000 seconds, and you'll come across something. I'm not gonna let you in on any of it. And then there's another listening post, blah blah blah. It actually, if you just follow these instructions, you will find them, and it's amazing. You flying around these ships that are, well, I won't spoil it. There's stories in the ships. If you, for any reason, you can't get the audio properly, the audio is linked here, as you can see. It turns orange, so the audio is actually online as well. I loved it. It was a really good few days when I was playing around with those things. On to the next one. It's similar to the one I was linking earlier from Reddit, but it's another one that I thought it's at least there, and I don't think everything is in that other list, so I think it's well worth it. Although a lot of these don't work anymore, just so you know. And it's 38 interesting places to see in Elite Dangerous. So this is more like extreme places or strange places and stuff like that, rather than famous places. So I'm going to give you some examples. It'll say like Wolf 562, Planet B is an ice planet at 439 degrees Celsius. So Y0855-0714 is the coolest known dwarf star. I mean, I think all of these are quite interesting. What's the one in Hawes? Is it in Hawes or something? Can't remember now. There you go. Carrot 7 even. Planet B is a lava planet. So it gives you some really nice places to visit, and there is a couple. I can't even see it because I think I'm going blind these days. There you go. This one I actually passed yesterday. 59 Virgins. Planet B is a pink gas giant. So it's kind of got these. It's kind of got these nice little things, and I think there's one there. One of the most luminous stars in the galaxy. So I think they're really cool places to visit and have a look at. If you run out of the other things to do as well. Next page. Oh, have I posted something twice? Oh. There's a faux pas. Actually, no, because I showed the download page of another one, so there's still 25 pages at the moment. Okay, this is the Colonia Highway Outposts. This isn't particularly to do with how can I put it? It isn't particularly to do with exploration as such. Why I chose this one is if you're ever thinking of doing the run to Colonia, if you're crazy enough to go to Colonia, this picture here in particular gives you the places that you can stop off, and I think this was done on purpose by FDev in order to have so that the auto route would be able to do it properly. So it doesn't actually say the systems on here, but you can, if you go into EDDB.io, which I will show you later on, you can search the names like Hillary Depot, Edmondson Terminal and whatnot, and it should find them. So that gives you kind of a step-by-step And even you can probably do like playthroughs, so you can maybe do it over a couple of days. So this one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, and then you're going to be there with a ton of information to sell. Okay, next one. This is the EDSM.net Elite Dangerous Star Map. This is a really cool one because it's what other people have done. I'm just looking for one extra website that I wanted to show, which will take it to 26, but it can be a bonus site. So this one kind of shows different routes that people have done and whatnot, and it's dated here as what they've done. So this is an interesting one if you want to copy other people's routes. So if we look at sort of this Matt Bazooka, whoever he is, he's put his first trip to Colonia, and you can see all of his stops along the way. Wait, if I can find it correctly. The only downside to this website, and it is quite a strong downside, I'm hoping that they can do something in the API to maybe list. I think they should have a list of every star he jumped into. I know it would make a massive list on the page, but I just think it would make it a little bit easier. But this is kind of like one of those things where somebody's crossing a mountain range and you click on and they make a few notes. Again, this might be a half decent thing to help you navigate your way to Colonia. But the reason I chose this page is not just because of Colonia, it's because there's a ton of different things that people have done. A ton of different routes. You'll have to look through them. They're all listed on the map, so you can kind of you can see the direction they've gone and everything. There you go, the Mega and Generation Ship Sightseeing Tour, things like that. I think it's just amazing that people have put that time and effort into it. So is that one I just downloaded there? Sorry. So and here's a really good example of what this website can do. So that's the route from Sol to Barnard's Loop. Beagle Point. Every single one of these is a place that they've stopped off, but it gives you an idea. The only thing I don't like about this, and I'm going to show you, is when you hover over it, there's nothing to really click onto. Even if you zoom in, it won't really click onto it. When it does, you can't get the box to pop up for a copy and paste, and that's my only negative of this website. Because you can't really use it as a tool to go from A to B, and I would really like that. I think the website's great. I think the fact that it logs everybody expeditions is amazing. We just need that copy and paste feature so that especially like newbies can come in and just get on with it. So that's another good website. That's the Elite Dangerous Star Map.net. This isn't to do... Now, the next section is going to be kind of like information websites that give what I consider useful information. Because we all know about permits. We all know that you can't go to Sol because it's permit locked and whatnot, and you have to do X amount of work to get that permit. I'm going to give you kind of the tools to do that, even though I've got a few videos in my video list of how to do that. And this website is really good for the permits. So it doesn't just tell you what the permits are. It tells you what they do. If there's, so it'll say like the name. So if we just go to Sol, for example, it says Triton, Luna, Earth's Moon, System Sol, how to obtain permits unknown, benefits unknown. Well, that's because I don't think, it's my own personal opinion, that you'll ever be able to land on Triton. So that's just my own personal thing. So here you see Federation System Permits, Sol. You need to be a petty officer, and the benefits are a location of an engineer, Colonel Briss-Decker, handcrafted system, some good trade route destinations, 20% discount on the Eagle at Dazala Station, and 2 palm tree stations. I'm guessing those are the ones with palm trees in them. So I like that it gives you the benefits. It tells you everything that each one of these things does, what it gets you, and if it doesn't give you anything. And it also ranks a lot of places where you either can't land at the moment, which I don't think is so important, but hey, it's all information, and information is beneficial in one way or another. So yeah, there's just a ton of information there about locked systems, and it might actually help you if you're having trouble. These permit locked regions of space and whatnot. It'll give you some information about that, because that can be a real pain in the ass. So, an easier way of looking at them is my next pages. This is from Steam. This will be listed as well in the notes. And it does say, so I'm going to just point out that for some of the things in it, Horizons is required. But on my videos, it's not. So if you go check out my videos, at least I think on my videos it's not. I shouldn't really say that. I'm not sure if one of them is planetary. I don't think it is. For ranking up with Federation and Empire. And if you kind of just ignore all that, go down here. There you go. Promotion and ranks. So it tells you every single rank. It tells you what ship access it gives you when you get to that rank, and the system permit that you receive. So with the Federation, you get Sol first, Vega and Beta Hydri second, PLX third, Ross fourth, Expert fifth, and then later on you'll get Hawes, and then my god, it's a hell of a grind to get up to Admiral. But you can do it. We can all do it. Next one, next page, Empire ranking. So should be the same page in theory, shouldn't it? But it's not, so stuff it. This does the same thing. It tells you how you can get to them. I wouldn't trust the information exactly, as in the stations it tells you to go to, because this was made a long time ago, and they've probably been nerfed long ago. But it will give you enough information to find somewhere of your own accord using something like EDDB.io, which I will show you later, and Link. So there you go. There's the ranks. So you get your Imperial Eagle right off the bat. You don't even have to be ranked to get that. And then you have to be Master to get Imperial Courier, Esquire to get the system permit to Achena. Then you have Imperial Clipper, Summerland, Facey, I'm guessing that's the pronunciation. And the Imperial Cutter at Duke, which is when I kind of stopped, because once you've got everything, haven't you? So, next one. For all you newcomers to the game, this is the one. This is the big one. This is the Road to Riches Pathfinder. This should be in the box. When you get this game, this should be the first thing that you have. So I will show you some websites later on how to kit your ship out, and they will have some very, very basic setups that you can almost immediately start using this and get out into the black, hopefully without blowing yourself up. But what this is this is a list of every Earth world, water world and high metal content world in systems within, is it within 100 light years of Sol? I think it is, isn't it? Can't remember. 550 planets in all, paying anywhere from 750,000 credits to, I think, can't remember what a high metal content world gives you. I don't know if it's 300 or 400 or something, might be more. This thing is a thing of beauty. It's been made diligently. The website's so nice, so I'll quickly go through it because I don't want to spend a ton of time on it because most people have seen it. So it starts off giving you the system name, so copy and paste. You can click that, copies it, and then you just shift and insert, and you'll paste it into the game. It gives you which planets, so for example A7, A5, A6. You go to the planets in this order. It tells you the distance in light seconds between the planets. It's such good information. And every one of those planets you scan is cha-ching, and good money as well. And I'll be honest with you, if you do this, it takes a long time because, like I said, there's 500 odd planets. You can see blah 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 blah, blah down the list like this. This takes a long time. You can come out with, I think it's somewhere near, I can't remember if it's somewhere near 500 million or 400 million. I can't remember the exact amount that you can get towards the end. I never completed it. I completed it, but I actually blew my ship up once and lost the data and never went back to do that section. So the other great things before I move on about this that I really like is, and I'll give you one other tip at the end as well, is the actions. So here, when you visited a planet, you can click it. It'll disappear like that. So that means that's visited. You can also hide it. So, not that one, sorry. So if I want to hide everything above, say I've visited all these. Let's say I'd visit them, and then I don't want to see them because they're annoying me and they're in my list. I press this button, they're gone. So that's just amazing for a website. I mean, I've never seen stuff like that before. But then again, I don't use a lot of websites like this. And then if ever you have a problem, and if you can crash your ship like me, you can show hidden, reset visited, and it all goes back to normal. Before we move on, tiny little tip. These types of things where you're doing 200,000 light seconds, I didn't do them. I jumped them. I missed out on them because even though these are Earth-type worlds and you're going to get 750,000, I think, if they're terraformable, which I think all Earth-type water worlds are, the time versus reward just didn't seem right for me, so I didn't do it. So next section we're going to go into is listening, because you can get so bored out there in the black. So what are you going to do? Okay, well, what you can do is use YouTube and things like that and listen to stuff as you go along the way, but I'm going to link a couple of places here that I really like. Now I should have done this in order of actually the main radio station and then the how can I put it, the side things of it, but I've put it in order of preference of what I like. So, this first one is an audio series based in the Elite universe called Escape Velocity. There's three seasons of it, each episode lasting around 20 minutes. It's produced by the Radio Theatre Workshop and written and produced by Christopher Jarvis, who likes to act in it, and I don't know, when I first started listening to it, I wasn't a big fan of the acting elements because, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of radio acting, voice acting anyway, but that can't take anything away from what these people have put into this. They've put a lot of time, a lot of effort. Christopher himself does stellar work, I think, for the community in what is essentially a non-profit making thing. The guy also works on another page and works with another radio kind of thing. So the guy, he puts in a lot of work. So it's definitely worth listening to, and if you want to support them, they have like all the little things that you can support for when they're going to bring a new series out. So as I said, there's certain parts of it that weren't preferable to me, but I'm not going to take anything away from anything the guy's done or the people there at the Radio Theatre Workshop who've done some stellar work on that. But I do enjoy it. It has grown on me. I didn't really like it at the beginning, and now as you can see, it says Escape Velocity Series 4 is on the way. I'm actually excited for it now, so that's a good thing. Next one it's connected to that one. It's Lave Radio. Lave Radio is an Elite Dangerous podcast, and they're now up to podcast 183. Each podcast is about 2 hours long. So 183 times 2, that's how many hours of podcasts you've basically got going for it there. Now, it is an interesting podcast, to say the least. Some characters on there, but to pass the time in the black, it's definitely interesting. The only other really podcast that I listen to when I'm flying out in the black, it has no connection, and I'm not actually going to link it within this because it's not elite connected. But I listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, and one of the reasons I like that podcast is because the guy speaks to people about a ton of different topics. The guy he'll talk about anything from social justice to astrophysics, to the benefits of eating mushrooms, to interviewing sports stars, interviewing non-stars who do amazing things in sport, to conspiracy theories. Like the guy, he he just nails it with his stuff. And where you don't agree with everything that he maybe says, or you don't agree with everything his guests say, one of the things is that he is really open-minded and kind of gives a really good platform. There's some really good episodes. The next one I'm going to go to is this one. Not Elite Dangerous connected, but it's helpful, and it's Sky Blue Radio. Sky Blue Radio I think it's an always-on net radio station, and I used to use it in Flight Simulator, and it's just basically a radio station to listen to while you're flying. But I think they try to choose everything that everything kind of that connects to flying in some way, so I really like that one. Okay, next one in the list is this one, Radio Sidewinder. This is another one connected to the Elite Dangerous universe. One of the reasons I think it's Radio Sidewinder, I think it's both them and Lave Radio. They do some stellar adverts. I love their adverts. I like jokey adverts in the first place. One of my favourite things when the Super Bowl's on in America is to watch the adverts from the Super Bowl, although they have kind of gone downhill in recent years. There's just some classic ones, and what Lave and I think Radio Sidewinder do at the same time is with some of their adverts is that they will make fun. Oh yeah, it's there. You can see ads fictional. They make fun of things in the Elite universe, so it's nice to listen to. Right. Those are all kind of like the sideline websites out the way, apart from INARA, which I think is quite an important website. The next few websites I'm going to go into I think are super, super important, and they should be your first port of calls for most of the things that you're doing in Elite. Okay, so first one's this one, EDDB.io. Now, I know I'm teaching a million of you to suck eggs, I know that, but it still has to be pointed out to people. This is a website which has all the information that's going on in Elite. So I'm going to give you some really, really quick rundowns because I'm not going to spend a totally long time dealing with this. So for a start, when you go to systems, you can search a system. So LHS 142, that's my home system. It'll bring up all the ports, everything that's in there. You click on it and it brings up all the information about it. Okay, not particularly interesting, but it does tell you how good the security is, if there's any exploited systems, population, things like that. Okay, that's not that great. What it has, which is amazing, is EDDB.io has this screen. I think it changes a little bit for some things. Okay, so yeah, if you go to like stations, I think it probably works better. So let's see, I'm looking for Diamondback Explorer. Okay, in a place that sells I think I can fit a 5 now. Frame shift drive. Let's go for a 5A frame shift drive. Okay, so let's say you're just about to go out in the black and you really want to get in there. So okay, so and I would prefer it. No, well, you can prefer it if it has a faction, which allegiance it is, which government. That's fine. I prefer it to have facilities of outfitting. Obviously, it will if it's got a frame shift drive, but you know. What type of landing pad? I suppose you're going to come with a small ship, but if you come in with an Anaconda, you can choose the landing pad size. Great stuff. Does it require a permit? So you might want to set that to no. Include planetary if you don't have horizons, so you can put no. You can put what type of economy you want, whatnot. And then you put the system you're in. So, for example, I'm in LHS 142. Anyway, but if you were in Sol or whatever, okay, so I'm going to put that in, and then you put find stations like this. Well, there you go. Immediately comes up with a list within distance from where I am, and it has all the places. Did I leave that on a large landing pad? No, I didn't. It's just by chance that it's loaded it in, I think. None. Let me just check that because it might be. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it has all the places that I can go to get those two things. The nearest one, of course, would be Sheraton Terminal in LHS 1197, which is only 17 light years, and this is a quite important one when you're looking at these things, is arrival distance from the drop-in. So that's a brilliant one there, 6 light seconds from the drop-in. So you might have to do an extra jump, or an extra 2 jumps, because it's 47 light years, maybe even more if you're in a really small ship. So this distance is very important because it's the distance, but the dropout distance is huge. You do not want to be doing this 300,000 light second drop-in. You don't want to be doing that. So this thing, it helps with that. It helps you find commodities if you're looking for certain commodities. For example, if we go here, is there, I can't remember if there's actually a, so let's, example, I want to buy Imperial slaves. Yeah, great information. I still want to buy them. I don't know how to go about it. So you click on it, current system, LHS 142. Again, I'm looking to buy any landing pad, find stations. There you go. So the closest place is 11 light years away. This place, I can buy my Imperial slaves there and then sell them, and it also tells you the supply that they have. Now the supply isn't always up to date. You can see, I think this is the last time somebody visited there and updated it. I think, it's my own personal opinion, I think that unfortunately for this website, I believe FDev are going to make this all kind of available in game in the future. I think that this thing of going around and discovering things, it just doesn't always work. You need too many people. I mean, if I just look, somebody, for example, 1 minute ago, somebody was in Smeaton Orbital, of course, Smeaton, but you know, that's really good. That I know that information there is 100% up to date. But then you've got this one, Roguey Station, which the last person visited 62 days ago. That information's probably really out of date and whatnot. So I think that information needs to be a bit more. And then it gives you the minimum buying stations, which is nice. So you know where you're going to get them cheaper. So you might want to go a little bit further to get them a little bit cheaper and whatnot. Maximum selling stations. So you know you've got really information to make strategic decisions on trading. So I just think that website's really, really good. Okay, next website is Careless.io. Now I don't love this site, but other people swear by it, so I'm putting it in here because, like I've said in the past, just because I don't like something doesn't mean it's not helpful. Maybe I'm using it wrong, maybe I just don't like the set out, whatever. I don't like this one particularly because I think the builds section is not as easy to use, but you can save your builds and stuff like that, so I suppose it's good for that because you can save them and export them and things like that. So the reason I think this is good, as for me as a base website that I use, is that I'm going to just go in and say, you know what, today I've decided that I'm going to go out into the black. So I immediately look at this and I go, right, where's the jump range? Okay, maximum jump range we have. Okay, so this is 41.8 light years. That's what I want. So it's a Diamondback Explorer. Cost me 1.8 million. Cha-ching, got it. Do I want to spend 146 million on the Anaconda? No, I don't. 6 million on the ASP? Well, that's kind of, I think that's more for another discussion. The SP I think actually looks better than the Diamondback. I prefer the look of the Diamondback, but I think most people would say no, it doesn't. The Diamondback looks smaller and it's not as good. The ASP Explorer has better core modules. So I don't know, when you've engineered it, it probably works out better than the Diamondback. I don't know for sure, but it probably does. So you know, and you can change. You can look at these, and you know, for example, if you're doing long range courier missions, then speed is probably the one you want to look at to see how much you can get out of your thrusters, stuff like that. So I mean, all of this is all information that you might need to use, and so I think that this one's really good. It also shows you the core module classes, your power plant, your thrusters. So for example, if I just want like the best FSD, And I know that, for example, Anaconda has a good jump range. You can get level 6 FSD, so you're probably going to get the best out of that. The Diamond Black, you can only get a 5 FSD, but it jumps a little bit longer. But, you know, it helps you make informed decisions. So that's Careless IO. Love that one as well. Next one. Now, this is the one I use for builds. It's called Roguey. It's similar to Careless. Very similar. It's a bit of a more... without thinking that I'm amazing or anything, it's a little bit more of a simplistic website. I don't know, it looks a little bit more amateurish, but it does work, and the people put in a lot of work, so I'm not taking anything away from them in that sense. The reason I love this one is I always come here, I just click builds. I love this part of it, and the reason I like about it is you can visually see various builds. People don't really vote on them, which is a shame. And some of the names can be really, really strange. But, for example, Nimbling Fanny Pack. I love it, but what a name. And what does it do? It doesn't tell me anything that it does, so that can be a little bit frustrating. And to be honest with you, people don't give a ton of thumbs up. If I show me which builds are most liked, for example, you can see like 10. It's really not. It's not a good. It's not a good look at. Just because 10 people have voted for it doesn't really make it so. But they do list things properly, like ASP Trader Combat. Okay, so I know it's for Trader or Combat, and I know I can change it out. But what you can do is, for example, if we go Diamondback Explorer, Exploration, we can actually click most liked, or I would probably go with the latest. Give it a click. Carbonized Wanderlust. Have you noticed everybody chooses? I mean, I'm supposed. Oh no, maybe it's just an automatic picture of the yellow. So we've got Carbonized Wanderlust. So we'll just have a quick look at that. And so it will tell you what's in every slot. So you'll notice these weapons mounts are empty. This is to save jump range, so you get more jump range. No utility mounts. Subsystems, 2D reactor, thruster mount, blah blah blah, 5A frame shift, and all this stuff. So all of this stuff, it's telling you what it is and how much it costs. And I don't think this website tells you where to buy things, unfortunately, but you can use EDDB.io to find these places. And you can actually, in EDDB.io, actually, I forgot to say, you can put more than one module. So you can put frame shift, reactor, thruster mounting, you can put all those things into it and it will find you a station. Now obviously if you put 8 things in there, it might not find the station, but if you put 3 or 4 things in, it'll probably find you a decent station. So fuel scoop, fuel tank, and then this is the most important part, is at the bottom here it gives you full on cost, fully kitted out. You can change these, so for example, like I wouldn't change any of those, but let's say I might take a lower. Oh, it doesn't actually let you change it. I thought it did. I was going to change my lower environmental control and stuff like that. So, and it gives you the jump range, which is actually quite a low jump range. I don't know what he's got in there that's brought that down to that, because he should be able to get better than that. But anyway, so gives you the insurance cost and everything like that. So this is a really good website for builds, and you can, you know, if you're very serious about going out there and exploring, you can go through those builds. There's not like a million of them there's only a few, and really find the one that's going to suit you and suit what you want. But it will give you base builds. I'm sure that one of them, for example, Deep Space Explorer, which I think is good, the Diamondback Explorer Mark 1, I think Diamond Rat Explorer, I think Diamond Rat 1 might be the one that tries to do it in a cheap way. Oh no, it's not. There was one I spotted when I was first building that gave you a really cheap build, and it came out, I think it came out around 8 million or something, and it was good for going out. This one, this Deep Space Explorer is actually really good, because he's done what I didn't do at the beginning, but I have now, is that he's put the vehicle hangar in there, because you might want to land on a planet when you're doing a lot of deep space stuff, and then an auto field management unit, because you might smack into things a little bit. And then he's put like a higher fuel tank, because you don't want to be heatsink launchers for emergencies. You know, as you get into the game, these things become more and more important. Okay, so that's that website. Okay, so only a couple more to go. This is another very important one. It's not super important, but I think it's really interesting. Rare trades. A list of rare commodities. So, these are things that have been put into the game for very, very different reasons. Some of them are definitely rare. I would use the word rare. Like leathery eggs at Ridley Scott. And this website, I just like it because it, you know, these things you can find in EDDB.io. But if we put leathery eggs, for example, it tells you the system. I think it's the system. Yeah, it tells you the system they're in, the name of the station, and then you can go to the Elite Dangerous Wiki and look at some of the genuine fossilized Xeno of them. I love it. It tells you the price and things like that. So I just like that, and you can work with things to get some payback off them. But I don't really trade rares, but I think there's a couple of websites out there that help you do it. But I like it. So yeah, so that's the Rare Trades website, and that's a pretty good one also. Okay, so finally, the most important website you're ever going to have to use for Elite Dangerous, and that is my YouTube account. So, I'm only half joking there, but if you like the video, please click a like and subscribe. It's really important. It lets me know what type of content I should be putting out, and if it's actually helpful to people. So you can leave a comment. That's always appreciated. I always try and reply to people as comments as well, and then like or dislike and subscribe, and really help me build a better community around my my YouTube. So it's been really nice. I've really actually enjoyed this. It's been good for me to actually put some things out there. There is a bonus website I would like to tell you about. I'll put it in here, and I'll actually go over my own website in order to show you it. Fuel Rats. Fuel Rats is a group of people who, if ever you get stuck without fuel, and you can't do anything about it, go to this website, fuelrats.com. They'll help you get fuel to you. I've had to use them on 2 occasions. It's fast. Maybe not if you're out in the black, but they will try and get to you as soon as possible. It is fast. It's efficient, and it's an amazing job that they do. They, as far as I'm concerned, they actually give you too much information to save yourself in the future, which I think is going to put them out of a job in the long run. But I can't say enough good things about this website. They do a stellar job. So if ever you're stuck out in the middle of the black, log out into the main menu just while you have a look at the Fuel Rats website, and you know, get them to come and save you. It's a really nice experience to take part in, but don't make any false calls. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to cut the video short because I don't want everybody watching forever. I hope you really enjoyed it. As I said, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you when I make the next video, whenever or whatever that may be. Okay, bye bye.